I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're diving into a powerful book. It is called Walk Through Hell, But Refuse to Stay by Ada Bennett. This powerful memoir recounts how generations of resilience and ingenuity turned hardship into success. Join us as we explore the incredible legacy of survival and triumph captured in this inspiring story. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her amazing book. The links are below this interview. Ada, great to see you here today on Spotlight.
Same here.
What inspired you or motivated you to write Walk Through Hell But Refuse to Stay?
Just life itself. I felt like I wanted to get my story out. So maybe I could help someone else that may have went through what I went through and not to stay there and get stuck, stagnant where they don't have help or outlet. So I wanted people to hear my story. So maybe the words that I spoke or wrote would be instrumental to them or a help to them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the words will resonate with a lot of people because there are tough times that everybody goes through in life. No matter who you are, you have challenging periods, that's for sure. Can you share
Yes.
with us a story from your book that highlights the resilience of either you or your ancestors?
Um, just about my mother, just speaking about the hardship that she had to endure and everything that she went through and her family went through to actually maintain. Um, I never had to go through some of those stuff that they went through with the hardship with food and shelter and having to have different things to just a survival.
Yeah.
We came up on a different realm where we had everything just handed to us. But with my mother, um, they had to work for everything. They had to farm, they had to go out and get the crops and everything. So basically, my parents just went through hell. My grandparents went through hell. I
Yeah.
mean, just maintaining.
Exactly, exactly. We forget how blessed we are today compared to how our parents had it and our parents' had it. Tough times indeed. I mean, just from getting shelter, getting heat, getting food. Today we won't drive in a car unless it's air conditioned. Back then they didn't have a car. I
They did
mean,
not.
so yeah, exactly. It's an amazing journey. How did your grandparents' skills in building and manufacturing influence your family's success?
It made me want it more. And I saw the little that they had then, and what we have now compared to what they had. We have much more. They didn't have running water. They had pumps. They had wells. Like you say, air condition was what we think about air condition now, and we complain about turning up. They couldn't turn up. They had to push a window up.
Right.
Um, they didn't have fans, really, to be honest with you, because when I spoke to my mom, I said, "Well, Mom, why didn't you just put a fan in the window?" She said, "A fan? What is that?" We didn't have fans. We
Yeah.
had paper fan. We
Right.
had fans that they hand fan, but
Oh,
just put a fan in the window, we're blessed
yeah.
compared to what they did not have back then. And we look at it as, oh, if our car don't start, we complain. They didn't have cars, they had feet.
Right.
So
Exactly. Yeah. I grew up a similar way. We didn't have a car till my sister was in eighth grade. We had eventually one room air conditioner that the whole family would huddle in that one room. If we had a fan before air conditioning, we had one fan that again everybody would kind of share. It was tough. I mean, and like you said, the more you go back in time with our family members, the harder it was. What lessons from your family's experiences do you think are most relevant today?
hard work.
Yeah.
Um, my grandfather lost his leg um, doing trees. They call it pugwood, cutting
Hmm.
trees. timbering, and he worked with one leg.
Right.
So I look at the strength that he had. He didn't give up
Yeah.
because he knew that he still have a wife and children to feed, and so therefore we have two hands, two legs, two everything. And some of us make excuses just to get up in the morning when you have folks that may not have the limbs that we have that had no choice but to keep working. Um, my mom said he had a wooden leg that he would scrap on that he made himself.
Wow.
He would scrap it on and basically kept on going. He could not stop. If he did, his family would have suffered. My grandmother would have suffered.
Right.
So
Regardless of how painful that wooden leg was, I'm sure the stump got, impacted, got irritated, but, he worked through it. And it's amazing. Today we're so spoiled. If we can't work remotely, we're upset, let
correct.
alone work with, a handicap like that. How did turning small things like corn, potatoes, and cotton into money-making businesses impact your family's legacy?
They sold that stuff. They bettered themselves by selling,
Mhm.
trading. Um, a lot of stuff was given away. I was switch off from one family who may have had this type of product and they had that. So they would exchange products. They would go down to downtown Charleston as they had to wait for once you go over from what my mother explained to me, you didn't come back right away. The ferry only went over one time and back one time. So therefore, they went to Charleston to the market areas and sold the products on the in Charleston or different areas that they needed to go. Um, and like I laughed because my mom said one day she was at her last stand of selling some sweetgrass baskets, and she said she missed the ferry, so she said she slept on the bench in Charleston until the very next day when the ferry came back. Because
Amazing.
like it's like they had nothing. And
Yeah.
sometimes when I heard her speak about the different things that they endured, I was like, Mom, you serious? She look at she said, serious as I can be, because what you guys take and think is so hard. We had no food, we
Right.
had no transportation. We ate off the river by the land. They planted and they did sweetgrass basket to maintain. They sold flowers. They it was living off the land. We
Yeah.
have it all handed to us. And compared to them, we complain.
Right.
We complain and complain and complain. And sometimes I ask mommy, I was like, why this and this? She's like, because I have to.
Mm.
This is how I maintain. This is how I raise you guys. Because if I stop, she called her dad Papa. If Papa stopped, Mama stopped, we didn't eat.
Right.
And once we got older, we realized that we had to take care of them now. They're getting older.
Yeah.
And my grandfather was not only a farmer and he was also a little, they call it a table tapper, but it's actually a preacher. It's a word for preacher, but it's guller, table tapper, meaning a preacher. And he was also the community leader out here. Um, Mommy told us one day, said they were getting ready for a meeting, and there was this big horn that they blew that wanted a ram horn that he made, and it
Mm.
was like a horn that he would blow, and all of a sudden you see everybody from all over the place start coming to his house in his yard. And it
Amazing.
was funny. I said, well, where they sat, she said, they swept the yards. They swept the yards. It was not sand, but they swept it where it was hard dirt. And they will bring the sheets and blankets and sat on the ground.
Right.
So it's amazing. It's like, Mom, y'all actually swept the yard. She said they were things that they put together as a broom and swept the yards. And
Amazing.
it's amazing to hear the things that they did.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's wonderful of you to keep their legacy alive, and keep their spirit alive and honor them for their hard work, because hard work, should be honored. It should be valued. It should be appreciated by the later generations because their hard work is why we're here today.
Exactly.
Um, do you think there's important lessons here for the people of today? I mean, so many people are coddled, so many people complain, so many people want this or that from maybe the government or maybe from even their family when they just should go out and earn it and work hard. Is that how you feel?
I do
Yeah.
because right now I see signs as I travel, help wanted,
Yeah.
help wanted all over the place. And I I don't understand the now generation.
Mm.
It seemed like COVID came in and they made an excuse, they're making excuses now not to go out and get a job. And my question is, how do you survive
Yeah,
without a job? Um,
exactly.
because right now, I don't care how you look at it, you have to work to maintain.
Yeah,
You have to do something to maintain. And what a lot of these places are shutting down because they don't have the employees to work.
right,
Back then, our forefathers, we couldn't shut down.
right,
We couldn't do what these kids are doing now. I don't know how they make it. I don't know what they're doing to make what they're doing.
right.
But there's no way in God's green earth that if the time then to now, I don't see it.
Yeah,
Our foreparents did everything.
yeah,
Got everything that we're living on right now is from them. We did nothing. We don't deserve to have half the things that we get. It was handed to us. Our kids now, you give them something and they don't they we I'll even use myself as an example. There is things that I got it freely because and I didn't appreciate it
right.
because I got it too easy.
Yeah,
Right now you look around, help wanted is all over the place and places are shutting down that should be open. We go to even at McDonald's, the lines are wrapped around the building because we don't have enough workers. McDonald's, come on,
I know.
it's
It's
sad.
amazing. It is amazing. The first lesson of COVID that many people got was you don't have to work. The government will take care of you, which is crazy. And then people actually refuse to go back to work. So
True.
there's a lot of great life lessons here. There's a wonderful history of your family in the pages of this book.
Mm-hmm.
So this is really required reading, I think, for every generation. People
It
like
is.
me and you who remember how hard our parents worked and our grandparents worked and then
Yes.
the future generations as well. The name of the book is Walked Through Hell, but Refused to Stay. It is a powerful memoir that recounts how generations of resilience and ingenuity help turn hardship into
Yes.
success. And it is a great book. It is a great read. It is inspirational. And there's the cover there. Ada, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate your time. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time, this time until next time on Spotlight.